Be'lakor, the first demon prince, has united some of the mightiest demons across the Chaos factions. As they spill blood, enrapture their foes, and twist fate to their gain, Be'lakor looks to reclaim his prime position in the Dark God's graces. Meanwhile, looking to end their destructive torment, the Admirals of Barak Zilfin watch carefully from afar in their iron skyships, waiting for the perfect time to launch their attack. As the Kharadron Overlords prepare to enact their surgical strike, will their guns and cannons be enough to take out Be'lakor for good, or will the first prince's legion be too much to overcome?
Welcome to another Season of War battle report. Today we have Ridge in his nice tie and everything. Jordan is not here, so we've taken over the hosting and playing duties here. First and foremost, we'd like to thank everybody who watches the channel. It means a lot to us. We've been working hard to add more camera angles and you know, take your feedback and improve upon the battle reports. We would like to give a special thank you to our premium members who allow us to do 2 battle reports a week and vote for the matchups. And this particular matchup was voted by the premium members.
Yep.
And for those of you who aren't premium members, you can hit the join button below and you can learn more about it. You get the access to all the backlog of games that we've had for the premium members. There's about 15 of them or so there. So if you want to help support the channel even more than you already have, you can be a premium member. Other than that, Ridge, why don't you take us through the matchup and the mission?
Sounds good. So yeah, today we're playing Power in Numbers. So it works a little bit differently. So starting from battle round 2, you score a point for holding it. You don't score until you actually burn the objective is the big part. So you score 1 for turn 2. If you hold it for turn 3, you score 2, and then 4, and then the whole game you score 8.
Yeah.
Start top of 2, you can burn any of the objectives, so it isn't just your opponent's or yours. Interesting. And then it's going to come down to the usual stuff, so battle tactics and then your grand strategy at the end.
Yeah, the big thing as well in this specific mission is that battle line takes precedence over everything.
Yes.
So even if I had 10 models against your 2 flesh hounds, your flesh hounds will control that objective.
If yours aren't battle line.
Correct,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So, so it's an interesting mission. I have quite a bit of mobility on my side with the boats and that sort of thing, but you have a lot of control in your list, and I mean, the array of demons look very, very good.
This is Hero Hammer at its finest. Yeah, I'll just go through my list. So, first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to Tyler Pearson. So most of you probably know him as Buckets on AOS Coach. Yeah. So fellow Canadian, he actually, I just chat with him all the time. So we were just chatting and decided to run his list. So essentially what it is it's Legion of the First Prince. So it's Be'lakor, obviously. And then the general is the Boomthirster. So he's got the Armor of the Pack to reroll his saves, and then he's got the Ruinous Aura command trait. So that gives a 5-up ward, wholly with an 8. And then it has Kairos, don't leave home without him. And then the interesting one is the Blade Bringer on, what's it called? A Doom Flayer. Yeah. I think it's the Doom Flayer. And he has the 4-fold blade. So that's the old one that you see that 5 or 6s to hit, does D3 mortal wounds and stops.
Yeah, it has a lot of attacks, so... Yeah,
so not as many as some of the other ones. It still has, I think it has 6. So, you know, it used to be on the Verminlord Corruptor all the time. People used to run it, or the Epitome, Epitome. A lot of models have a lot of attacks. Anyways, and then the battle line is 2 units of 5 Flesh Hounds, 10 Pinks, and the Spell Portal. And I did forget, and another one staple of Legion of the First Prince, the Khorne Demon Prince. So, as everyone knows, having your run in charge is just massive against, maybe not as much against shooting, but we don't really tailor, you know what I mean? Like, this is a list kind of designed for a tournament, and you're definitely going to see a lot of Legion of the First Prince.
It's a very good control list. The big question against a list like that is, does it have enough output to take pieces off?
Yes,
so
it's more just Hero Hammer to do the damage, and then more control and kind of staying alive. And notable as well, so I have Hunters of the Heartland, and then Warlord Battalion, because in Legion of the First Prince, if you're going to run it, you do want CP. So Warlord is huge, because you're using that Demon Prince ability every turn.
Every single turn.
There's no other way if you don't make 4 up. So Warlord is really, really massive for this.
I'm exactly the same. I'm a Warlord Battalion and Hunters of the Heartland. So I'll take you through my list. I have 2 minimum Arcanaut units. Can't leave home without them. They're your scoring unit. I'm taking 10 Grundstock Thunderers, all with rifles, because I just want to be moving them with a boat and shooting every turn. The Fumigators are nice if you're dropping them out, but that's not my game plan with them. I have a unit of 6 shooty balloon boys, and then 2 units of 3 melee, just so that I can split them and affect most of the board, with coherency being what it is with units greater than 5 models.
Not as good for melee.
Yeah, and then they still are able to fly high with the boat.
Yep.
And then I have the Engine Master with dirigible suit, having the artifact that you needed for Zilfin.
Yep.
And of course, you can't leave KO without the Warp Lightning Vortex in spell on the bottle.
You can, but most people don't.
You can. But that does bring me at a 11 drop.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention my Admiral as well. So a lot of ability to reroll hits against monsters and do damage against monsters.
Yeah.
So
and
we'll
the big boat. Didn't mention the Ironclad, but I think everyone can see that.
Does it need to be mentioned at this point when you're playing KO, whether or not you take the Ironclad?
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing is an interaction with Be'lakor, kind of just putting it here right now. Prior to us playing, when he does his Master's Command to prevent a model, or sorry, unit, Dark Master, to prevent a unit from moving. We're playing it so that if you do roll the 3-up, the Ironclad can't fly high.
Yeah.
Now there's a little bit of ambiguity. Does it count as a normal move? When you lose your normal move, are you able to still fly high? That sort of thing. But we're playing it conservative, in that if he does get that off on the boat, that he can't fly high.
You do need to make the 3-up.
Correct.
1 or 2. Yeah.
Correct. So we're just gonna play it in that direction. So severely limits the mobility of the Ironclad, but this is a long game, so let's see if I can at least teleport him at least once.
Cool.
So you had lower drop?
Yeah, so I did not think I was going to get to choose who goes first until I got here and you told me how many drops. I am actually going to go first because, reasons. Using the Dark Master on the Clad, just, trying to get there. Turn 2, starting to burn. There could be some interesting things. So I'm gonna go first here.
Yeah. Yes, for those of you that don't know, the Master's Command is until your next hero phase. So me going second, if I was to win priority and I double you, it's still into effect, just so that you guys know.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're gonna go into Legion turn 1.
That's right. Let's go.
The Legion battle tactic is Ferocious Advance. The Demon Prince of Khorne fails heroic leadership, and the Endrin Master uses heroic willpower. The Bladebringer casts Flaming Weapon. Be'lakor casts Arcane Bolt. Be'lakor casts the Master's Command on the Bladebringer. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on himself. Kairos casts the Umbral Spell Portal. Kairos casts Gift of Change to the portal, dealing 6 mortal wounds to the Endrin Riggers and summoning a Chaos Spawn. The Demon Prince of Khorne uses Blood-Slick Ground. The Bloodthirster uses Unyielding Legions to summon 10 Bloodletters. The Endrin Riggers attack, but deal no damage to the Chaos Spawn. The Legion complete their battle tactic with monsters to score 3 points.
All right, so back from Legion of the First Prince, turn 1. pretty effective, I think. Again, I wanted to take first so that in your turn I can proc the Dark Master. Hopefully the boat doesn't move. If I win priority, give you the double, then making it not move for twice. Pretty much flooding the board as well, so I was able to get the summon off. So I summoned 10 Bloodletters. I was going to do Plague Bearers because they're a little more resilient, but actually Be'lakor was a little bit further back, so I wouldn't have got them as far out. So I just did it from one of the Khorne heroes, and the Bloodthirsters are nice models. So yeah, everything else just kind of moved around. I did get Gift of Change off through the portal. Was going to do the Arcanauts. I figured they're way more points. The Bloom Boys, they can do some damage with shooting, and just to be annoying. So now they're tagged. And then got some spells off, but other than that, yeah, just kind of repositioning. Started the game amazing with Ferocious Advance, so scoring the extra point because all 3 are monsters. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much my turn. So yeah.
Sounds good. So we're gonna go into KO turn 1.
Sounds good.
The Kharadron battle tactic is aggressive expansion. The Aether Chemist uses heroic leadership, which the Bloodthirster fails. Be'lakor uses Dark Master on the Arcanaut Ironclad. The Dark Master fails in the movement phase, allowing the Ironclad to use Fly High. The Dark Master locks down the Ironclad in the shooting phase. The Endrin Riggers kill the Chaos Spawn. The Arcanaut Admiral deals 1 damage to the Bloodletters. The Fleshhounds use all-out defense. The Thunderers use all-out attack and deal 7 damage to the Fleshhounds. The Arcanaut Admiral uses all-out attack and kills 4 Bloodletters. The Bloodletters deal no damage to the Arcanaut Admiral. The Kharadron Overlords score their battle tactic for 2 points.
All right, KO turn 1. So the big question for my game plan was basically, am I able to do things? Because of Be'lakor. Now, you did prevent the hero phase move, so I wasn't able to get close enough to deploy my Warp Lightning Vortex that turn. But I still have it in my back pocket for the eventuality that I am able to move and do things. Now, the Ironclad wasn't able to shoot.
It was able to move. I rolled a 2, so in the movement phase, it still could fly high.
I made a little bit of a mistake. I should have shot the Endrin Riggers first into the unit of Fleshhounds to eliminate the front end because they're 12-inch range guns, and then the Thunderers as a follow-up because they're 18 inches. And that unit most likely would have been gone. But I made the mistake in sequencing, so
I pulled there them out we are. You run into the
the Admiral, I mean, he's a pretty good beat stick, so I'm just marching him up to try to threaten, and he's a 3+ save hero. So he's difficult to deal with all-out defense. So I just want to throw him into your maw and see what you do with him. He's only 125 points, so he's pretty much a throwaway. I freed myself from the Chaos Spawn, but this objective is very, very vulnerable right now. But I'm able to collapse pretty quickly if you take the turn. And because of Be'lakor's ability, you're most likely going to want to give it to me. So I guess with that, let's roll off. I'm not going to roll the Season of War dice against you because...
Man, I did it all turn. It worked well.
That's a 1.
Also a 1. I'm going to keep priority. Well, I'm going to keep decision, and I'm going to give it to you, obviously.
So. And just so that Be'lakor can keep stopping my Ironclad. 2 turns is big.
It is.
2 turns is big. All right, so we'll go to KO turn 2.
Let's do it.
The Kharadron battle tactic is Conquer. The Aether Chemist fails heroic leadership, which the Bloodthirster succeeds at. Be'lakor's Dark Master locks down the Ironclad in both the hero and movement phase. The Fleshhounds use Redeploy and move 4 inches. Be'lakor's Dark Master fails in the shooting phase, allowing the Ironclad to shoot. The Endrinriggers deal 1 damage to the Bloodletters. The Fleshhounds use all-out defense, and the Endrinriggers deal only 1 wound to them. The Endrin Master kills the remaining Fleshhounds. The Ironclad deals no damage. The Archanaut Admiral kills the Bloodletters. The Kharadron Overlords burn 2 objectives and achieve their battle tactic to score 4 points.
KO turn 2. So Be'lakor's Dark Mastery has prevented my Ironclad from moving. What I wanted to do was redeploy outside of 9 of you and then deploy the Warp Lightning Vortex because all your heroes are so close to each other.
Yeah.
Which would prevent you from flying. So it would have been pretty devastating, I think.
Yep.
You do have the 5+
Ruinous Aura for everyone's in it.
So that's very, very good to prevent the damage.
Yep.
I was able to take that objective and burn it, and this was very, very vulnerable on my side because of how fast your units are and summoning.
Yeah.
It was almost guaranteed that you were going to take this point from me, so I had to burn it.
Yeah.
So leaving me with kind of like a weird split. And so that you would have to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
With Legion of the First Prince, in my experience, they want to be fairly close to each other. Be'lakor is kind of the one piece that they can shoot off and do things.
Yep.
I do have my Admiral centrally placed. 3 inches around him means it's difficult to get behind him based on where the distance is. He's probably going to die, but he's going to hold up the tide of demons for 1 turn.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, my Ironclad's still in a pretty safe spot. You eagle-eyed viewers probably saw that my Chemist is way behind because because Ridge was nice enough to mention and measure 36 inches from Kairos. If he spell portals and Gift of Changes the Chemist, then I also lose the Warp Lightning Vortex as a tool. So there we are. So pretty conservative. With KO, you're able to kind of use strike forces to take objectives, and that's what I did over there.
And you're still really mobile, so yeah, you're going to be able to bounce around. So it's going to come down to if I can, hold objectives till the end of the game. That's going to be 8 points. But yeah, if we'll finally get to see your boat possibly in a turn. So
yeah, and with Legion, it's very, very good because you can dictate the second turn or the double from 2 to 3.
Yeah,
which is huge.
Yeah, so now you're on the back. Now I can get a double on you and possibly get, everything into that. But
correct. So we'll see. Legion turn 2.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
The Legion battle tactic is broken ranks, targeting the central Endrinriggers. The Bloodthirsters and the Archanaut Admiral both use heroic leadership. The Bladebringer casts Acquiescence on the Endrinriggers. Be'lakor casts Arcane Bolt. Kairos uses Oracle of Eternity to cast Gift of Change, killing the Archanaut Admiral and summoning a Chaos Spawn. Kairos casts the Umbral Spell Portal. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on the Bloodthirster. Be'lakor casts Enfeeble Foe on the Endrin Master. The Bloodthirster uses Bloodslick Ground. The Horrors deal 2 damage to the Endrinriggers. The Ironclad uses Unleash Hell and deals 1 damage to the Bloodthirster. The Bloodthirster uses Roar. Be'lakor unleashes the Arcane Bolt for 1 damage. The Bloodthirster uses All-Out Attack and kills the Endrinriggers. The engine riggers deal 3 wounds to Be'lakor and 2 are passed to the horrors. The engine riggers use all-out defense and Be'lakor deals 4 damage to them, leaving 1 alive. The Legion fail their battle tactic and score no points this turn.
Legion turn 2.
Yes, Carl's excited for me to start saying things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Boomthirster went on the far right side, smashed up the 2 guys here. No 6s to wound, so I was within 8 of all 3 of them.
You
so
interestingly piled in, or not piled in, but charged so that you're within Unleash Hell.
Yeah, which I didn't really care about.
Rerolling saves, you're totally okay.
Yes. No, I wouldn't reroll because it's only in melee. But
only in melee, but
yeah.
he's pretty tanky with the 5 up.
And Mystic Shield, yeah, on
correct.
him too.
So I only did 1 wound to him, and then the potential of just dealing 4 mortal wounds to my Grunstock Thunderers, everything.
Yeah.
So
or and I did need to use my Kairos die, so I was thinking about it. I failed Gift of Change. I didn't even need to go through the portal. I rolled a 1 and a 2. So then I changed the 1 to a 6 to make Gift of Change go off to do 6 mortals to him, just to get him out of the way.
Yeah, he was blocking a lot. Be'lakor wouldn't have been able to land over there.
Yeah.
And your Bladebringer would have been further back.
Yeah. Because at this point now it's like playing for the double. If I get the double, it's probably game. That's why I was just
maybe.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But I just kind of leaned into it. So him dying was like a big portion of it. Yeah. So just made that happen. But that allowed me to not have my Kairos die anymore. Be'lakor went in. I cast Acquiescence on him from the Slaanesh Bladebringer.
So on average, you would have killed the Balloon Boys, but you didn't.
Reroll 1s to hit on him.
With everything.
3s rolling 1s. I put through like 6. I think you made 3 6s on your save because you did all defense.
Yeah.
And then I didn't kill him with those. And then the tail is 1 up to wound. I rolled a 1 on it. It would have been -3, 2 damage. Would have killed him.
Yeah.
Rolled the 1. So
which was interesting though, because like you had a decision point. You did charge the spawn, trying to get to these guys. You could have maybe overloaded even. And we were talking about sequencing in terms of Stomp and Arcane Bolt. Yeah. You unleashed Arcane Bolt, didn't want to Stomp because you wanted the extra point. I didn't want to kill them. You wanted the extra point.
And exactly. I wanted the point to kill them instead of doing it with an Arcane Bolt. What I should have done is done the Stomp. I could have still failed it, but I should have done the Stomp. Yeah. And then seen if I didn't roll a 3, then unleash the Arcane Bolt. Yeah. And then still do my attacks. Yeah. Or save the Arcane Bolt just for situations like this.
Yeah, at the start of the Battle Shock phase, I'm
not going to get to.
Playing the Gash, it's like the sequencing of when you unleash Arcane Bolt is so important. And you got greedy. You wanted the extra point.
Oh, I figured Be'lakor with reroll 1s from Acquiescence, he's going to be able to kill 3 little balloon boys.
Yeah, it should. But they're the heroes of the game at the moment.
They did more wounds to him than he did to them.
He did 5.
They did 5 to him.
All right, so with that, we're heading to turn 3, which is pretty big.
Not scoring anything, not burning anything.
No.
Bunker up here. So yeah, we'll go into priority.
1.
3. Okay.
So there's an interesting decision here. I mean...
Oh, there's still the burn on...
Yeah, none of these are primary, so there's an interesting decision point in terms of if I'm able to burn an objective on your side. It really puts you on the back foot. But the thing is, you have so much pieces around on my end already that I think you take it.
Yeah, well, thanks, Carl. Yeah. Looking at it similarly, I was just going to say I could give it away. But then you're going to have chances to, you guys still have your battle line alive. So even if you take one of these, I'm not going to score 8 with them. I can completely bunker down on the other one and then guarantee I'm going to get 8 and then just kill all the rest, all the rest of the stuff. So yeah, I'm going to take turn here.
Sure. So with you taking turn, I am going to go ahead and burn your middle one.
Sounds good.
All right. So Legion turn 3.
Let's do it.
The Legion battle tactic is aggressive expansion. The Bloodthirster uses their finest hour, and the Engine Master uses heroic willpower. The Bladebringer casts Acquiescence on the Engine Rigger. Be'lakor casts Arcane Bolt. Kairos casts the Umbral Spell Portal. Kairos casts Gift of Change on the Arcanaut Company, dealing 6 damage. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on the Demon Prince of Khorne. Be'lakor casts the Master's Command on himself. Be'lakor unleashes his arcane bolt and kills the last Endrinrigger. The Arcanauts use redeploy, moving 5 inches. The Horrors use at the double. The Bladebringer deals 2 mortal wounds on impact. The Arcanaut Ironclad uses Unleash Hell and The Last Word, dealing 8 damage to the Bloodthirster. Be'lakor stomps on the Arcanaut, dealing 1 mortal wound. The Bloodthirster roars at the Endrinriggers. The Arcanaut Ironclad uses Bomb Racks and deals 2 damage to the Bloodthirster. The Demon Prince deals no damage to the Endrin Master. The Bloodthirster uses Feral Roar. The Bloodthirster deals 2 damage to the Endrinriggers. The Endrinriggers deal no damage. Be'lakor kills the Arcanaut Company. The Ironclad does no damage. The Endrin Master deals 1 wound to the Demon Prince of Khorne. The Bladebringer kills the Arcanaut Company. The Legion complete their battle tactic and score 2 points.
Okay, so back from turn 3. Got my battle tactic. That was kind of the main thing I wanted to do. The 4-fold blade, I put through 3d3 mortals, so that was cool. Yeah. A little on the charge. Repositioned over here. The boom, they're still not, still whiffing kind of with him. So you did do Unleash Hell once I charged him in. I was in between doing that with him or Be'lakor. Yeah. I figured with the 5-up ward save as well, and him have Mystic Shield on him, you know, that there's a good chance he's not going to take whatever 10 wounds or whatever it was. Yeah. So you know, you rolled 13 to 14 4-ups on the.
I mean, it is a lot of dice for the Ironclad. It has Unleash Hell and Last Word. Yeah. So it fires its main cannon twice, and then everything else at -1. Yep. So it does have quite a bit of output, and you have to kind of decide when to go against it. Yep.
And I knew going in that, like, I knew I was going to get shot by that, but I did the math, and he definitely didn't die from it. So then I had to use Feral Roar, which is, this is the most common thing you're going to see with like a Rage Thirster or like any of these big monsters. You are going to take damage. You can't do +1 to hit. Instead of you want to do Feral Roar, because especially with his 6s to wound mortal spam, that also brackets. Yeah. So fighting on top.
So he was at 1.
It would have been 1 mortal to everything within, which I didn't roll any 6s anyways, but
instead of 4, yeah.
Yeah, so I split 3 on the Bloom Boys, 2 on the other one, instead of, I was going to do 4-1, 3-2, I didn't really know, but because Be'lakor clearly last time whiffed and didn't kill here, so I didn't have any faith in him, but of course then he kills the 10 of the guys that turn. Yeah. So I did leave 2 of the Bloom Boys on, and because this is battle line, you're going to hold that point. Yeah.
I mean, the moral of the story is overkill the Balloon Boys, because they survived all hell here, and they survive all hell here. Yeah. So I personally, as a KO player, didn't think that they're very good. Yeah. And I mean, I've been rolling lucky, which alters my perception of what they can do.
Exactly. It's 4-up save, so there's 6 wounds and a 4-up save. The Arcanauts are 10 wounds and a 4-up save. Yeah. So I just did the math, and I roared the Balloon Boys, so they couldn't use CP. So that should be enough to do it. I did get 1 through -2, and then I rolled a 2, so it just killed one of them, and no 6s. So yeah, other than that, just kind of biggest thing is I forgot to summon. I don't know if you noticed turn 2 as well. So it's just
it kind of comes with the territory of playing a new army.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it is a 10+ on 3 dice, so it's on average you get it like 50% or so that you get it 55.
Yeah. So, but that's huge just for getting that, because if I was able to do that, then, you know, just having another
more.
Yeah, more bodies here for Be'lakor to pass off, but
prevent my deep striking, that sort of thing.
Exactly, and that's what I've tried to do, spread out with the portal and with the spawns around, just kind of limit your ability to fly high.
Yep.
So I'm going to be holding this point hopefully
for the rest of the game, and hopefully I have to hold that point for the rest of the game. So yeah, we'll go into KO turn 4, and I'm gonna Hadouken the.
Is it turn 3?
Turn 3!
Turn 3.
The Kharadron battle tactic is Slay the Warlord. The Aether Chemist fails to use heroic leadership, and the Bloodthirster fails heroic recovery. The Aether Chemist unleashes the Warp Lightning Vortex, dealing 2 damage to Be'lakor and killing the Bloodthirster. The Thunderers disembark from the Ironclad before it flies high into the hero phase. The Thunderers use an Aether Gold for Inspired and also use all-out attack. The Thunderers deal 5 damage to Be'lakor. The Endrinriggers deal 1 damage to Be'lakor. The Endrin Master deals 2 damage to the Demon Prince of Khorne. Kairos uses all-out defense, and the Arcanaut Ironclad deals 6 damage to him. The Endrin Master uses all-out defense, and the Demon Prince deals no damage to him. The Endrin Master deals 4 damage to the Demon Prince. The Kharadron Overlords achieve their battle tactic and kill a monster to score 3 points.
Okay, KO turn 3. So that was pretty eventful. And so in my hero phase, I was able to dump the Thunderers out, then put the Chemist in, fly high with my hero phase move into a very central position, and I left myself some options. Either if I'm able to, you know, do some damage to Kairos, I can maybe perhaps go that way but the pinks are there, or go this way and reclaim what was once mine if I get the double turn. Now you kind of put a triangle of models, and so I had to really
you were only able to get in here because I zoned with them.
Come quite far out. I did deploy the Warp Lightning Vortex, and like it always does, it does an insane amount of damage, and was able to kill the Boom Thirster without any more output from my guys, and then 2 mortal wounds with into Be'lakor. Now Be'lakor with his ethereal save, the Thunderers are very good against him because of the number of shots that they can output. And so they were able to bring him down to 4 health. Now it's incredibly dicey for you to come into them if I was to unleash hell. And so, you know, the 2 guys there I have to protect at all costs because they're the only thing that really are allowing me to hold that point. And my
not really. Your bodies will still hold.
My bodies will hold, but the thing is, if you're able to, you know, arcane bolt them or something, and then get into the Thunderers, with the 4-up save, they could potentially fold pretty quickly.
Yeah, Enfeeble Foe would. Oh no, it's in melee. Never mind.
Melee.
I was gonna say that would be great in the Thunders because they wound on 4s, but.
Yeah. Now in the double, my plan is to sink as many shots. The reason why I brought the Chemist inside the boat was so that I have somebody to all-out attack and
use CP.
Make it much more reliable for myself. So
and he's got 9-inch range too. Yeah. I looking back, I should have just strung these guys out a little bit, and it would have made you have to deploy your boat back here.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have been able to get him to shoot at Kairos at all.
So that's actually what I thought you were originally going to do, is string that way. Now, if you strung that way, there was a potential spot at the back there that I could land and then move this way and start to threaten this point instead.
Yeah. Well, you still wouldn't have been able to get back in here.
Yeah.
And with the house there.
Yeah, if you were to push a little bit further, but he does move 10, so I mean, I'm able to strike pretty deeply.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I had to deploy the Admiral pretty early in the game.
Yeah.
What I actually wanted to do, or the plan with the Admiral, and the reason why I take him on my list, is I put him in the boat, and for a CP, I'm able to shoot after I've ran. Yeah. So with Zilfin being auto run 6, if I was over where I was, you could. If I auto run 16 inches, then 16 inches again, then shoot. Yeah. Like, it threatens almost the whole board, right? Yeah. So, but I had to play him over here because of how aggressive your army is. So. Yep. He's not, that plan didn't come into effect. But I mean, I think the prio is going to be pretty huge. Yes. You know, I'm going to believe in the Season of War dice. So against you.
Bad mistake.
That's a 6.
No, maybe it was not a mistake.
So we'll go into KO turn 4.
Sounds good.
The Kharadron battle tactic is bring it down. The Aether Chemist fails heroic leadership, and the Blade Bringer uses their finest hour. The Blade Bringer uses redeploy and moves 4 inches. The Thunderers deal 2 damage to Be'lakor. The Engine Riggers deal 1 damage to Be'lakor, leaving him with only 1 remaining. Really, Carl? Again? The Demon Prince uses all-out defense, but the Engine Master finishes him off. The Ironclad kills the Bladebringer and deals 2 damage to Kairos. The Aether Chemist deals 6 damage to Kairos. Be'lakor fails to roar at the Thunderers. The Thunderers use all-out attack, but deal no damage to Be'lakor. Be'lakor deals 6 damage to the Thunderers. The Kharadron Overlords capture and burn 1 objective and achieve their battle tactic, scoring 3 points.
Okie doke. KO turn 4. My plan was I left Be'lakor with 4 wounds. I was thinking that with the Warp Lightning Vortex, I was counting on it going off, that I would kill Be'lakor. I left him with 1 wound, charged him, but I wasn't able to kill him. Yeah. So he's still there. He's a threat. And I'm scared that he's going to maybe rinse my Thunderers and perhaps
heal and kill you.
Yeah, and get into my Engine Riggers, and that will lose me the game if that occurs. So under no circumstance can I let that happen. Things did look up. Like I said last turn, I was able to get deep into the zone, kill the Bladebringer. And do you want to talk about your mistake?
Yes. Well, it's just one order of operations thing that I just said to Carl. I'm like, I'm going to do best day ever on the Bladebringer. So he's going to be +1 save, and then going to do all defense with him. So +2 saves. So then he'd be saving on 3s. So thinking of that the whole time, we looked over here and I was like, oh, okay, my Demon Prince still has the half charge. Yeah. So you actually didn't kill Be'lakor in shooting. So in my head, I'm like, oh, if the Demon Prince stays alive, you're probably not going to get into him with the charge and the Thunders.
He's going to survive.
He'll survive. So then once you were shooting into the Demon Prince, I was just quickly not thinking and just go, yeah, okay, all at defense. And then we rolled it out, and he died anyways. He had 1 wound, and then I looked back over and went,
and then forgot that your Bladebringer was supposed to be the target.
Yes, and then it's like, oh, I can't do all defense, and then you killed him to the wound. Yeah. And I did roll some 3s that would have been saved.
So with that, I did burn it. Now we have this, like what I originally wanted and predicted was to stretch the board out because of KO's mobility.
Yeah.
I'm able to strike deep into your territory. You have Be'lakor. I don't know if Kairos and the other boys are fast enough to get over here.
No.
So Be'lakor has to do the work. Now you do have Umbral Spell Portal and you do have Gift of Change.
That's going to be huge.
So there's might be some spawns getting spawned.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And you're right. Mobility-wise, not completely there. This point is pretty much, you're already banked on me getting 8 there, so it's now thinking about...
I have to tie you with the 8 to your 8 to my 8.
Exactly.
Yeah. And because I'm ahead of my battle tactics and having burned that one early in the game and burning this one at the third battle round.
Could come into play. And Be'lakor whiffing for broken flags or broken ranks. Yeah.
So there's some to play. Be'lakor, who's Legion of the First Prince. This is his Legion. Let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be his best day today. We'll see. But
all right, and with that, we'll go into Legion turn 4.
The Legion battle tactic is Monstrous Takeover. Be'lakor uses Heroic Recovery, healing 1 wound, and the Aether Chemist uses Heroic Willpower. Be'lakor miscasts Arcane Bolt and kills himself. Silly Ridge, this isn't Skaven. Kairos casts the Umbral Spell Portal. Kairos casts Gift of Change on the Endrinriggers, dealing 3 damage. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on the Horrors. The Legion achieve their battle tactic, scoring 2 points, and the Kharadron Overlords score 1 point for killing a monster.
Back from bottom of 4, the moral of the story, Carl left Be'lakor on 1 wound. That's been his new trend, which has been great for the rest of us here at Season of War.
But what happened?
But I decided to, first I healed Be'lakor, only healed him 1 wound with the Heroic Recovery. And then I tried to cast a spell, and I rolled 2 1s. And then Be'lakor did 3 damage to himself and didn't roll any 6s. So he blew himself up, which is always great to see. But then looking at the board, we kind of thought right away, I'm like, okay, close the curtains, it's over, this is bullshit. But then looking at it, because it's battle line, bottom of 4, I can still win top of 5. I auto run the hounds outside here, so then I need to make their move, make the charge, kill this last balloon boy, which I need to leave there with 1 wound, and then because they're battle line, I'll be able to take that, burn it top of 5, so then you won't score any points for that.
Yeah.
And then
1. Yeah.
There's a you're not gonna be able to go through 50 wounds of pinks, so I'm gonna score 8 at the end of this one.
Yeah.
And then seeing if grand strategies and points like that, but I don't know. We'll have to do some math then. But it all comes down to now. I need to win priority here. So after Be'lakor doing that to himself, I have a very good feeling that he's going to come back and let me win priority here in the game.
Okay. That's a 4.
That's a 5! All right. Yeah, I'm going to take it. So we'll go to Legion of the First Prince, turn 5.
The Legion battle tactic is Conquer. Kairos fails Heroic Recovery, and the Aether Chemist uses Heroic Willpower. Kairos casts the Umbral Spell Portal. Kairos casts Gift of Change, killing the Endrinriggers. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on himself. The Flesh Hounds use At the Double. The Legion achieves their battle tactic and burns the objectives, scoring 11 points. Wow, he caught up fast. That's a lot of points.
Okay, so yeah, we just kind of talked about it in the last recap. I needed to win priority, and then the dogs. I actually thought I was going to have to move and then charge the guy here, but then I just, stopped being dumb and did the portal, get the change, killed the last guy, and then auto ran 6 with the dogs. Got them on, burned that point. And now I just needed to, I burned both of these, my thought. And then I burned mine for 8. So there's no more points on the board. Move the chicken, like he is, the bin chicken to the back, kept him safe.
You're trying to do prize sorcery.
Trying to do prize sorcery to keep him alive. So he's got 6 wounds left. I did end up doing, or I have finest hour for him to do in the bottom of 5. So if he stays alive, then I'll get my grand strategy, and you.
And then I lose. If I am able to kill Kairos, we tie on points.
Somehow, yeah. So through the math, if you could kill him, because you'll deny me and get yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, it's just been wild, all the kind of back and forths.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go into KO turn 5.
Yep.
The Kharadron battle tactic is Savage Spearhead. Kairos uses Heroic Recovery, healing 1 wound. The Ironclad uses Fly High. The Ironclad uses All-Out Attack and deals 5 damage to Kairos. The Kharadron Overlords achieve their battle tactic and score 2 points.
KO turn 5. So I had a pretty big gambit. I had to teleport over there. You're pretty smart in your placement of the chicken, knowing that that's your grand strategy.
Yeah.
So you're outside of my carbine range, and you move the pink horrors up to screen. So I wasn't able to just move outside of 3, and 9 deep from behind that means that I'm not able to shoot your chicken with the
12-inch guns,
which is the most shots on an Ironclad. It's 8 shots.
Yeah.
So I have to rely on the main cannon plus the torpedoes to kill the Lord of Change. Now, you had a decision point whether or not you were going to finest hour or heroic willpower.
Yeah. I chose the extra 1, even though I rolled a 1 for it. Just having that 1 kind of made it more about your rolls for you to miss. Because if I would have best 8 ever, then I was +2 save. So then it would have mattered on my 3-ups, where I could easily roll 1s or 2s. Yeah. At the end of the day, it would have been very close either way. I went with the wounds just in case if I did get 3, then that would have been huge.
Yeah. I was gonna go for the 1 shot of the main cannon, which I almost never do.
Yep.
But because you are at 7, even if it went through,
I could have rolled 1-6, but still,
you still would have been at 1, which meant that would feel bad. That would be where my journey ended in terms of the attack sequence.
With another thing on 1.
So I went with the weight of dice, trying to bring him down.
Yeah. And
unfortunately, on my D3 damage at the very end there, I rolled a 1.
You could have rolled 3 to keep the dream alive, and then I would have. Well, 6s. Always my 6s to.
But yeah, no, like it would have just put it into that, right? Into having you roll those 6s.
And that would have been cool because we were just chatting amongst ourselves, and I don't know if we've had a tie that has went to a minor, like you were saying, I think, right? If you denied mine, got your grand strategy, then we would have tied, but you would have won the minor. What I could.
Yeah. So the way it goes with 3.0 is if you tie on
battle tactics
on things. No, battle tactics were exactly tied.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes down to a second tiebreaker, which is your grand strategy. And then I would have gotten my grand strategy, but would have denied yours because of prize sorcery.
That would have been wild. Imagine that at like a big tournament.
But if you tie that and neither of you get your grand strategy, or both of you get your grand strategy, then it just becomes a straight draw.
Flat draw.
So it's incredibly difficult to draw, but I had to make that play. I had to make that play to minor victory. Yeah. Now, kind of overall in the game, shutting down the Ironclad for 2 turns.
Oh, huge.
The biggest impact was not shutting down the Ironclad in and of itself for those 2 turns.
Because I rolled the 2 on the 1 and you got to move them over.
The biggest role for my army was the first hero phase move.
Yes.
If you weren't able to, I would have deployed the Ironclad pretty central, deployed the Vortex.
With the triangle around.
Yeah. Right into the middle of your army, and then said, come to me. And now, because that triangle is within your army, you can't fly. So the pinks are actually blocking the rest of your army from moving. And when you charge the pinks, you saw what the output of what my bow is able to do. Yeah. When I prevent you from.
I would have had to dispel it, like 100% would have had to beat it. Which with Kairos
is 5s. You have to roll a 5 on
A5. Dice. Yeah, which
is pretty good.
It's dicey still. Yeah.
But it meant I would have taken more of the board. Now I had to do this weird swooping thing where I went from one side all the way into the middle into back onto my point.
Yeah.
To kind of keep it in the game. And I was on the back foot a lot. I had to react more to what you were doing as opposed to enacting my game plan.
Yeah.
Now, Belcore dying was hilarious. But yeah, again, in a tight game, you know, small things like that.
Yeah.
You kind of moved your Kairos thinking that the game was over.
Yeah, when we were actually just doing it, it was like, okay, I thought when I moved there,
again.
we asked about points, and then I was like, okay, never mind. Like, you still have a chance if you can kill him, get your grand strategy. Because I wasn't scoring through the game as much as you were, I thought just getting 8 and denying your 8, that was enough. But because I wasn't scoring enough, it actually ended up mattering, being very, very close.
Yeah. In terms of what I could have done, like this is hindsight, seeing that Fleshhound move 14, you had to win the double to the 14 again.
Yeah.
I could have potentially put the Thunderers more. No, I wouldn't have because they wouldn't.
They were they were in combo with Belcore.
Yeah, and
the Balloon Boys you could have moved.
Yeah, the Balloon Boys I could have moved further
Gift
out.
to Change would have still got them, and I would have ran the point. It wouldn't have mattered.
It was like 36 inches is such a big
portal.
Ability.
Gift to Change is just.
And the thing with KO is twofold. One, they don't have a mortal wound save, and two, they don't have any unbinds. I spent what 3 or 4 of my heroic actions doing heroic willpower for the chance to unbind.
And I was rolling 5s and 6s with Kairos.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Even with 4s, it's like 8 on average. I would still roll a 7 even below yours. So
yeah. I only failed it once that one turn, and then I ended up using his once per game to get rid of the dude here.
Yeah, I mean it did what it did. Heavy control, you know, you had pieces left on the board that were able to score and, you know, take 1 point here to 1 point there. You actually ran out of 4 spawns.
Yeah,
you actually have 2 more spawns.
I guess 2 more. I would have had 4 spawns.
On the board. Yeah.
I did forget. So I guess my overall thoughts, like I forgot to summon
turn 2, turn 3.
Turn 2 and 2 or 3, which is huge. So for this army, like, you know, it is at the end there. I rolled a 9, so I didn't get it, but it, you know, that's a big part of it. Like, you know, summoning demons.
Yeah.
But again, playing the army kind of, I've played it a few times on TTS, and then I've played it a couple times here. So I'm getting, you know, better with it. It is cool. I do like it. The control, it is a very controlled army against melee armies. So this is a good test to kind of show against shooting armies. So if you are playing Legion of the First Prince and you come up against Seraphon, KO, cities, there's a lot of them, that are going to be able to shoot you. So, you know, you need to, even like the Bloodthirster's artifact is only against melee. Like there's so many, you know, things, you know, especially the having the charging. I thought it was going to come up even a little bit here, but not really. So, you know, against certain armies, it is very, very like, I want to say NPE, like makes you not be able to charge, but at the same time, that's the kind of control portion of it. So it is fun to play. It's a different kind of style, but.
You know, after this battle report, I may wear a hat for the next one.
Carl's gonna go to the hat meta. I brought the suit meta today.
Yeah, so
I know you didn't wear a hat, so I was like, do I count it with hat meta? I think
don't know.
You don't wear a hat, so maybe I go suit.
I mean, the last 3 or 4 games I've played on the channel, I've left things on 1 wound to lose or 2 wounds to lose. So I mean, I'm so close, just so close to breaking it open. Maybe the hat will push me over the edge.
I'd love to see that.
So with that, again, we'd like to thank everybody for watching.
Yeah, awesome. Have a good week, guys.
Bye.